Hello there, Leo. Thank you so much for stopping by for your monthly tarot video forecast for the month of April. What I'm going to be looking at here is just one life cycle that's going to be occurring during the month of April. A life cycle basically sets us up to either learn something or to experience something. We all have several life cycles going on at the same time. Like you can have a family life cycle, a work life cycle, a school life cycle, a romance life cycle. All of these are going to overlap with each other to a certain degree. Um, And what's going to happen is as you have your lesson or experience, first you're going to be set up to have the lesson or experience. Then we have the lesson or experience, and then as we incorporate that lesson or experience into our lives, what happens is we see those changes that makes, and then that begins to plant the seed for the next life cycle to begin. So whenever we finish a life cycle, we just graduate on to the next one. So this reading is not going to be comprehensive. This is not going to be, an overview of what April actually looks like. It's just going to be looking at one snippet that hopefully will be a key theme that comes up for most of you Leos during April. I do want to remind everybody this is a general reading, and so general readings, not everything applies to everybody. So just keep that in mind as you're walking through here with me. If you would like to get a private reading where we look at what exactly is going on with you, then feel free to do that. That's the best way to know what really is your situation. What else do you need to know? Anything that I see here can be influenced or changed by free will, other people's free will, or your free will. So that means that if I see something that you're not that thrilled about here for yourself, you can make some decisions and change some behaviors so that uh, you can throw this off so that those things that you're not thrilled about don't actually manifest for you. And like I said, not everything is going to apply to everybody anyway because it is just a general reading. Okay, so all of that out of the way, let's just get talking about what we have here for the life cycle we're looking at for the month of April for you Leos. First of all, what I'm looking at is the environment that you're in during this life cycle. Looks like there's been a lot of conflict in this environment. Actually, I want to change that. There's a lot of inner conflict about this environment for you. And to be clear, an environment for me is any place where you have energy or effort invested. So this could be home, usually it is, but I've also seen it show up as work and as school as well. So just keep that in mind. Any place where you have energy or effort invested can show up as your environment during a reading with me. So anyway, I do feel like there's some inner conflict about your environment. There's something about it that either you're debating about changing, or you're debating about whether you really like it or not. You're debating about possibly even moving completely out of the environment. There's something going on that it's a big deal that you're debating about. But I feel like for most of you Leos, this debate is an inner debate. It's not something where you're actually debating with another person. For most of you, for some of you, you are. Um, but for most of you, it's an inner turmoil about your environment. The next thing that I'm looking at does talk to me about your subconscious leanings. There's something coming up here that there's some kind of negative influence that has been in your life, and it looks like you've been trying to move away from it, but you're kind of stuck a little bit. You're having a hard time really fully, completely releasing it. And it looks to me like your subconscious is working on that as you go through this life cycle in April, Leos. So really working on hitting that full release is what comes up as the subconscious focus for this life cycle. Now, the next thing, learning style. It looks to me like for this life cycle, your learning style is very much all about feelings. How do things feel? What do things look like for you? How do they feel? Do they feel good? Does it feel like this is something that you want to keep doing? Does it feel like this is something that doesn't really fit well? Everything that you're learning really has to do with how it resonates with your feelings here in April with this particular life cycle. Kind of implies to me this could be more of a spiritual life cycle that we're actually looking at for you guys. Just first impression here. We'll know more as we go through these cards. Then the other thing that I see here is about your learning style. And no, that was your learning style, about your communication style. Let's move it forward, Amista. Gotta watch me. So, communication style. I feel like for this life cycle, your communication style is wide open. You're probably wearing your heart on your sleeve. Just about everybody around you knows where you stand in this life cycle with whatever it is that you're working on. There's not really anything that you're trying to hold back or keep secret here. I don't feel like you're overly blabby with anybody, but I also don't feel like you're holding back. I don't feel like there's any secrets here. Now, the next thing I'm looking at does talk to me about your work, which, as those of you who have had private readings with me know, work can be how you make your living, but it also can be those things that you're doing to improve your character. Sometimes, whenever I get a card that talks about work, it actually talks about both of those at the same time. You'll recognize if you're one of the people that this message applies to, then you will recognize which way work is coming in for you. Okay? So what I'm seeing is, oh, I think I got this for Cancer too. What I'm seeing for work for you guys is the Knight of Pentacles, which talks about being very diligent, going in on time, coming back from breaks on time, doing those things that you need to do to make the money flow in if you own your own business. But if you're working for somebody else, making sure that you are doing a good job, making sure that you are maintaining a good reputation, doing all the right things that you can so that the next time you're evaluated, you can come up for a raise, this type of thing. Now, if this is talking about inner work, that work that you're doing on yourself, then how this would play out would be just that there's some kind of thing that you have targeted or that you're focusing on that you want to improve about yourself, and that you're being very diligent in your practices to bring about that improvement. Okay, so moving on, the next card talks to me about that part of you that is being grown or expanded through this life cycle. Wow. I'm just realizing, I'm sorry, I'm being really quiet. I am just realizing that this was in exactly the same position too for the last sign that I did. And I know I shuffled these cards. I promise I did. So interesting that you and Cancer are going through something very similar during the month of April. And you guys aren't even, wow. Because like Cancer's a water sign and you aren't, so interesting. Okay, so enough with Amista being distracted. Let's get back to your reading. Okay, so that part of you that's being grown or expanded right now is the part of you that has to do with getting out, being around people, being more social. It feels like you may have been feeling kind of cooped up lately. You may have been doing a lot of introspection, self-examination type stuff. And now that part of you that's being grown or expanded is that part that it's time to get out, be around people, influence people, be influenced by people, that type of thing going on. Okay, so something that you stand for right now. I do see you taking a stand for yourself, or there's two ways to really explain this. They're similar to each other, but not exactly the same, and I feel like this is coming in both ways. So for some of you, Leahs, we've got you taking a stand for yourself about something, and I feel like you're kind of catching some flack about taking a stand for yourself. But this is something that's important to you, so you're not going to let that flack throw you off course. The other way that this comes in is with you stepping up into your place. So this is like knowing where you need to be, what you need to be doing, but you haven't really gone there. This is like knowing what your calling is, but being chicken to get into your calling really fully, and then stepping up into that, holding that space. So this may or may not be about your calling, but that's the best example I can give you because that's the one that I see most often where people hesitate to step into their own space. But this really is talking about maintaining your own space, maintaining that idea of who you are and of what you're all about. So for some of you, this is taking a stand like setting boundaries. For others of you, this is just you being you and holding space for yourself to actually be you and live up to your own expectations rather than the expectations of other people around you. The next thing that I'm looking at is how other people perceive you. What I'm seeing is that other people perceive you as being really, really capable, almost so capable at doing what you want to do that maybe you're even a little bit magic, is how other people see you. So this is a nice way for people to see you actually as being this capable. I also feel like these people uh, feel that you're somebody that they can come to and lean on, get advice from. If things aren't falling into place in their lives, they may be coming to you for advice about how to get things to fall into place because to them, it seems like you are so capable and so blessed. Okay, so then let's look at the lesson or experience during this life cycle that's coming up in April. What I'm seeing is that the experience here is all about balance. And this can come in a couple of different ways. But I'm going to say that for most of you, not all of you, most of you Leos, this is talking about, well, we also have some hints of spirituality too. Hang on. You know what? I'm not even going to put a most out there because we've got a few different options here. So for some of you, this is going to be about a life cycle that has to do with your spirituality and expanding your spirituality via other people, interactions with other people. For some of you, this is going to be about business and expanding your business via your experiences with other people. And for others of you, this is going to be about relationship and balancing the relationship and experiences with other people, and that is going to be critical as well. And when I say other people, I'm not talking about, extra lovers or whatever you want to, however you want to say that, but just interactions with other people that give you these aha moments and these insights of, this is what I see really working for this couple. I wonder if that would help us, or you can even be having the reverse of that where you're watching other couples who are not doing so well and you go, well, I don't want to do that. So this whole life cycle can really be in a few different areas of your lives, Leos. But what we have coming up here is, however it applies for you, is about bringing in balance into your situation, into your life. So whether it's business, whether it's spirituality, whether it's relationship, whatever it is bringing things into balance. So if this is business, then this is bringing your business into balance, making it so that your business is productive enough to offset the expenses or the energy that's expended in running that business and doing that business, whether you work for somebody else or whether you work for yourself. If this is spiritual, this is all about getting that balance of um, how spiritually in touch you are and also how grounded you are, how in touch you are with the tangible realities around you. Because it is possible to be so spiritual that you're not in touch with the world that you actually live in. And it's possible also to be so grounded in reality, so much in touch with that world that we live in, that that we have a hard time interfacing with any kind of spiritual. We have a hard time even believing any spiritual. So for those of you that this is coming in as a spiritual life cycle, this would be finding that balance between being connected to spirit and being grounded in the realities, the tangibles that are around us. So that's cool. If we're talking about relationship, then we're just talking about bringing balance into that relationship, making that relationship more of a two-way street so that um, both parties are giving into the relationship and both parties are receiving from the relationship because ideally that's what it's all about. You want to be in a relationship with somebody that you can be mutually supportive and mutually encouraging with and to. Okay, so balance coming in, whichever way this is showing up for you, Leos. Now, as you get into the fulfillment of the life cycle, we've got some different things going on. First of all, I do see a lot of you stepping back, taking a break. This can be what I consider forced downtime. This is not vacation. This is a situation where you can't do everything that you would normally do, but it gives you time to really think things over and consider things that you would not normally consider. And that's going to be part of this balancing situation. Part of the balance is going to be having that forced downtime. That's going to be part of the effect of this balance. And as you have that forced downtime, those new perspectives that come into you are extremely healthy and productive moving forward for you. I'm also seeing that you've been a little bit restless with the way things were before this balance started to come into your life. Excuse me, and I'm seeing that restlessness start to dissipate as your balance comes in. So that's really kind of a cool thing. It's like life gets more interesting as the balance comes in. And then also, as this balance comes in, it looks like you're focusing more on the things that you want. Where before you might have been a little bit more scattered about different goals that you had, and your energy might have been scattered out so much that you weren't really making progress on any goal, but you had them all kind of on your plate. Now I see you focusing. I see you wiping some of the stuff off your plate, saving it for later to work on maybe deciding it's not important enough to keep it on your plate and really focusing in on those things that are important to you as this balance comes in. So really, actually, really nice growth coming in for you Leos in April. I love to see that balance come in, whichever form it is, spiritual, relationship, or material. Always a good thing to have more balance in your life. Okay, so that is what I saw for one of the life experiences you're having during April, Leos. If you would like to have a reading with me where we look at things specifically for you, feel free to contact me. Everyone, thank you so much for stopping by, hanging out, liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting. I do appreciate all of your support. Everyone have a fantastic, fantastic month. I will see you back here the next time. Peace out.